Hello, welcome to Waypoint Survival. Today I want to show you how to turn this common everyday tablespoon that I bought at the dollar store into this great bushcrafting spoon that you can even carry with you on your keyring. Stay tuned. Probably the most important eating utensil that you can carry with you into the backcountry is a spoon. You probably already carry some sort of a knife, and you can always whittle a sharp stick into a fork. There are several ways to make forks, and I actually have a video on how to carve a fork, and I can put a link to it right up here. Anyway, I wanted to make a spoon that was portable and that was easy to carry, but that still required a little bit of bushcrafting so that you can enjoy your skills and just a little bit of extra something to do when you're out again into the woods, wherever you happen to be in the wilderness. Many of you have already seen my pocket dump video, and so you know I carry quite a few items on my keyring. And if you haven't seen that, then I'll go ahead and put a link to it right up here, and you can watch that pocket dump video. But one of the things that I have added recently is this item here. And this is a spoon on a keyring, and of course it goes with the rest of my keys and my gear, and it's pretty easy to carry. It's pretty flat, doesn't take up a lot of room, but it has several options, and I want to show you how to make that right now. So to make this project, you're going to need just a few simple materials and tools. First of all, I have just a small hacksaw blade here and a handle. I have some of the JB Weld. It is the original cold weld formula, steel reinforced epoxy. It is the 5220 PSI, the higher strength formula. I have a spoon that I got at the dollar store, and you can buy these 3 for $1. My multi-tool with the file, and then you're going to need one of these chain link attachments here is to attach a chain or some kind of attachment onto a chain. It's got a screw attachment here, and that's what we're looking for. Make sure this is stainless steel and not galvanized, so that's very important. And this is the 3/16. See it right there? And I got this at Tractor Supply. So the first thing that we're going to want to do is we need to trim this off. And if you can see, it's got a bit of an angle, and I like to take this and bend this so that this is a little flat. It's easier to do it while you got a little handle here to do it with, because we're going to cut that off. So make sure this is kind of more in the same plane as the spoon part, and we're going to cut it off right in this section here. So you use the hacksaw to do that, and just place it on the edge of the log or stump, or if you do this in your garage, you'll be fine too. Okay, now that we have that cut off, you can see about how much we have here, and then you're going to want to take your multi-tool and the file and go ahead and file off all the sharp edges and the corners, and make sure from your cuts that this is fairly smooth and kind of rounded. You don't want any sharp edges left on this to make sure that it will fit for our next stage. So for the next part of this project, we need to remove this nut right here, and we're going to do that by cutting it off right here using the hacksaw, and then this will just come right off. And like I said, you can do this by putting it on the edge of the stump, using the hacksaw on it like this, or if you want to take it into your garage or shop or wherever and put it into a vise, it'll be a lot easier for you. I'm going to cut that off, and I'll get back with you. Now that we have these pieces cut out, and you can go ahead if you want and put a little hole in it. You don't have to do that. I only do that because I may want to carry it on my keyring. So that's totally up to you. And just use a drill press or a drill. That's a step you don't have to do if you're just carrying this in your kit. It makes it a little more useful as far as I'm concerned. And then as far as this piece here, don't just throw that away. Go ahead and bend it into a useful hook. And you can use that for some other part of your bushcrafting. Nice little stainless steel hook. You can imagine can be used for a lot of things. Put some cordage on it, use it to hang a pot, etc., etc. And it's pretty small and lightweight, and waste not, want not. For our next part of the project, we're going to take the spoon that we cut off, and we're going to take the nut here, and we're going to test fit it on here, and we're just going to screw it on. Now this is not real easy to do by hand, so again using the multi-tool, and what we're doing is we're kind of threading this on here And we're just going to turn the spoon and go as deep as we can to try and get that to thread on there a certain distance. Now, if you're having trouble with this and you think that maybe your spoon is a little too wide in here, you can always take your file and narrow the spoon handle down just a little bit more so that this fits on a little farther. And I find it easiest to hold it this way and rotate the spoon. You want to get it in there until it's pretty tight. And you also want to make sure that it goes in there a decent way. And right now it's threaded in that far. So as you can see, it's a little less than halfway. You want it to be about a third of the way into your spoon handle. So about right there is where you want it. Now that we have that test fit, we're going to take the JB Weld, a little bit of bark, and a twig, and we're going to mix up equal parts. Many of you have used JB Weld before, so you know how this works. And you don't need a whole lot, because again, we're not using a huge amount. So about that much, and then of course just stir it together. Now you want to make sure you use a piece of clean bark for this so that you don't get a bunch of wood chips in with your JB Weld. Okay, now that we have that mixed together, we're going to put some in the end of the nut here. Make sure and get plenty in there, but we don't want too much. And then we're going to put some around our spoon. Like this. So again, not too terribly much. About like that. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to thread it on here, just like we did before. Using the multi-tool, make sure we get it on there nice and tight. Okay, there we have our first stage done. Now what we want to do is take the JB Weld we have left, and we want to make sure and fill in this cavity here, because we don't want it to be able to have any kind of hole where food particles can gather and rot and cause us issues. We want this to be completely closed up. And then if you wish, take a piece of paper towel and just wipe off the excess epoxy. When you're done, you can see what it looks like. Got that filled in, both sides. After it's cured for 24 hours and it's all ready to go, find an appropriate key ring that will fit into this hole. And this is a 1/8 inch hole. And thread it on, and now you can put it on your key ring. But one neat thing about the way this is made is you can put your finger in here and you can hold it like this and use this as a spoon just like it is. That works really well. If it's not a very deep dish or bowl and you just want to use it like that, that's perfectly acceptable. However, take the key ring off, and what we have, of course, is we have a threaded hole. Locate a stick of the right diameter, again just a twig, and using your knife, go ahead and clean off the bark, and you can do this all the way around if you wish until you have a completely clean stick so there's no bark left on it. After you've whittled all the bark off of it, go ahead and trim this end down to the right diameter. And it's important that it's tapered in the front, so just this first section here needs to be able to go on. If it's thicker toward the back, that's fine. And then all you do is you simply thread this part, and it will cut its own threads into the wood and tighten up. And there you have your spoon. You can make this handle as long or as short as you wish. And of course that's great for freeze-dried packages because they're pretty deep, and you can always find a stick or a twig. And this actually works best if you can find some dead dry hardwood. This was a green maple twig, but yeah, absolutely. This makes an absolutely great addition to your little bushcraft kit, or as I do, I carry it on my keyring. So now that we've completed our great spoon project, and we can carry it with us wherever we go, I know I'm going to get some questions about JB Weld. Is it safe to use around food? Well, doing some research, I found that JB Weld is non-toxic, it is not a carcinogen, it is microwave safe or heat safe, and it is not water soluble when it is fully cured. This can also withstand temperatures of 550 degrees Fahrenheit or 287 degrees Celsius. So this is a pretty great solution to being able to carry a spoon with you wherever you go. And it's small and it's lightweight, and of course, when you're done, you just unscrew it, toss the stick, and again, very easy to take with you wherever you go. This is James Bender for Waypoint Survival. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Also make sure and check out the links in the description box below. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel. We'd really appreciate it. And when you do subscribe, make sure and press the bell button so that you can stay notified of all of our upcoming videos, and we'll talk to you next time.